What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. You tuned in with your boy V Technician, and stay tuned because we got a banger for you guys. So I've been driving my car for the last 3 to 5 months. I noticed that I have an oil leak coming from my engine. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to locate, diagnose, but also replace that leaking seal inside of your engine. If you guys have a 4th gen or 5th gen Honda Prelude like I do, then you're going to most likely have the H22 motor inside of your car. So this is the engine, the H22 engine that I put in my car. I got it rebuilt recently, about last year, with all brand new seals, cam seals, rear main seal, front main seal, distributor seals, all that stuff is brand new. But ever since I replaced it, this is the first leak that I have noticed since I rebuilt the engine. If you take a look on the side right here, you should be able to see some excessive oil on the timing cover. You see that? That's not pretty. That's a lot of sludge, if you ask me. So I noticed that about a month ago, and if you take a look at the ground, you do see some oil leaking from the engine. You know, it's getting to that point where it's pretty noticeable, and I'm losing a lot of oil over time. So I need to get this thing done as soon as possible. And I've had one of my friends tell me that, look, it's your front main seal. If the belt is pulling and splashing oil all over the place, then it has to be coming from the front main seal. Luckily for me, I actually cut my timing cover because the timing cover is supposed to come all the way up to here. So typically you're not on a regular engine, you're not going to be able to see much of the camshaft gears, the crankshaft for the camshaft gears, or the belt. But I have this WICFAB timing belt tensioner, secondary tensioner, and I had to cut my timing cover in half so I can see, and also so I can apply some pressure on that belt. The front main seal is what I'm going to be changing today. So I recently ordered a front main seal off of Rock Auto. Shout out to Rock Auto. I'm not sponsored by them, but they sell pretty good parts. And this is what the front main seal looks like. It's nothing but a 2-inch seal. It's pretty small. The rear main seal between the transmission and the engine is a lot bigger than this, but this is how small the front main seal is. I'm going to take off the valve cover. I got to take off the timing belt. I got to loosen the serpentine belt that powers the alternator. Take off the crank pulley. Take off the timing cover. And then I'll have access to my front main seal. I'm going to get started on this job. I'm going to get back to you guys when I make some progress. Ooh-wee. That's pretty. That's gorgeous right there, man. That's what doing your oil changes on time looks like. And by the way, guys, I daily drive this car, okay? So the fact that my cylinder head looks this clean on the inside, that tells you everything you need to know. Now, if you buy a used H22 engine and it does not look this clean, that means the previous owner of that engine did not do their oil changes on time, or they're not using the right oil, because this is how clean the inside of your engine is supposed to look like if you're maintaining it. The engine is at time. You got to make sure before you take off that timing belt that the engine timing marks are lined up. These are aftermarket cam gears, but I don't know if you can see it, but this line right here is a thin line that goes across that side, and then there's a thin line that comes across right there. So those two lines have to line up. I'm gonna now take off the crankshaft pulley, the bolt and the pulley down there. Let's get to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got the timing cover off. There's a lot of oil, especially around here where the timing belt travels. So there's something going on down here where the timing belt is slinging the oil upwards while the engine is in motion. And there's a lot of oil being puddled at the bottom. So this timing cover tells me a lot without having to look at the engine myself. Let's take a look at the bottom side. So this is pretty much where a lot of the oil is being built up. It's pretty messy. This is not how I remembered it last time I was down here. It was pretty clean. So this is a brand new sight to see. The tensioner up there is covered in oil. So this thing is pretty filthy. All right, people, so I got that timing belt removed. I loosened the tensioner, and that gave me enough slack to slide that belt off. I'm about to get access to the crankshaft seal. A lot of you guys that run the balance shaft delete kit, you guys will recognize what this is. This comes with the kit. This sits in the front of the crankshaft. So I got that off already. And this is gonna come off next. This is kind of challenging, honestly. Once you take out this, right, so this thing is being stubborn. I'm trying to get this thing off, but it's being a bitch. All right, guys, I'm gonna need 2 hands for this, so give me a second. Yes, sir. So this is the crank sprocket. This is what the timing belt runs on. Type shit. Got all that stuff laid down. So now, once you take off this last washer looking thing, which all engines need, by the way, every engine needs that, we're gonna finally have access to our crankshaft seal. So this is what the seal looks like when it's on the car, when it's on the engine. And automatically, I can already see where the oil was leaking from. See, I got my flashlight on right now, and I can see some dry spots around that seal. But when you look around down here on this side, you start to see some oil shining in the light. So if you ask me, that might be where the leak was coming from, right there. All right, people, so after some real persuasive efforts, we got that crankshaft seal out. So let me show you guys what I'm working with. All right, so this is the crankshaft seal that I ended up plucking out of there. Don't look at the damage it has now, because I had to end up plucking it and poking it a few times. I used a few of my tools right here, but the one that worked was this very skinny gear wrench. I would call it a pick. This was the pointiest, sharpest one. So something that's sharp, very pointy at the end. These were a little bit too dull. I even tried the screwdriver with the screw method, You screw it into the seal, and then you just pull out the screw, and the seal should come out with it. But that didn't work with me. This worked. So if you guys have any issues taking out that seal, just make sure you got something pointy. You can get that seal out. So let me show you what it looks like. So this is the oil pump actually. This entire area is the oil pump. So if you look inside of where the seal sits, it's actually covering the oil pump gear. But I'm gonna clean up this whole area where the balance shaft delete kit sits and the timing belt tensioner. I gotta clean up all that grease and oil, so that when I put this brand new seal in and I start the engine, I can make sure that that's exactly where the leak was coming from. I still gotta clean up my timing cover. This thing is filthy. I gotta clean up this timing belt because this belt has some oil on it. I don't want that thing to pop on me. I should change that belt, but I'm not going to. Clean up these gears because everything around the timing side got oil on it. So I got that crankshaft seal on the crankshaft. It sits pretty flush. I'm guessing that's how you want it to sit. You don't want any issues with it leaking after you installed it. So what I used was this 14mm wrench, and I just tapped it like this. So I put that side of the wrench on it, and I just tapped it all the way around with a hammer. You don't want to hit it too hard, but you do want to make sure that seal is sit properly on that crankshaft. From the top side, it looks good. So I shouldn't have anything to worry about after this. So that's the job right there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna now put this engine back together. Timing belt, timing cover, crankshaft, all that stuff is gonna go back together. We're gonna start this thing up and check for any leaks. Make sure this thing is good. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop any comments or questions down below. If you guys see anything that I haven't noticed with my engine that you guys think might be detrimental to the longevity of my engine, just let me know, man. I'm sharing this content for you guys so we can conversate back and forth as Honda Prelude H22 enthusiasts. Let's interact with each other, man. I'm here for the Prelude group. We're not that deep as we think we are. You know, these cars are rare and they're old, so we want to just push each other forward to make sure that we're all using the best knowledge possible to keep these cars on the road. So yeah, man, let's push each other forward. Let's keep pushing each other. All right, so for the one time, this is what goes first on the crankshaft. So this meets the crankshaft seal first. And now we're gonna put this bad boy like so on this side. Okay, so I got that belt. Belt's pretty tight. It's looking good so far. I do have a secondary tensioner. Those of you guys running these engines, the majority of you guys don't have this. A lot of you guys have a power steering pump right here. As long as the primary tensioner is about like this, you don't got nothing to worry about. This secondary tensioner is adding a lot more tension than this setup is needed for, because this setup only has stock cams. The engine doesn't really need that secondary tensioner, but you can't be too cautious when it comes to a belt driven engine. You want to make sure that that belt has the proper tension. The bottom end looks good and clean. I cleaned up that oil pump and I'm about to put on the timing cover. Alright people, so I just tightened up the serpentine belt with the crankshaft pulley. Crank bolt is tight. I didn't torque it or nothing, I just hit it with the impact gun a few times. That should be good. And the valve cover's back on. You gotta make sure those spark plug gaskets are seated properly, because if they're not, you're gonna have an oil leak in your spark plug tubes, and you don't want that. So I'm almost done with the job. Just gotta tighten up this alternator harness, and don't forget the PCV valve hose, because you don't want to blow your crankshaft seals again after you just did this job. So just make sure you tighten up everything where they're supposed to be, and you should have no problems in the future. Oh shit.
Too hotter than me. Flamers. Flamers. I got crackers for the streets too hotter than me. Hottest in the city. Hottest in the city. Hottest in the city. Ain't nobody gon' top. Hottest in the city. Hottest in the city. Hottest in the city. Ain't nobody gon' top. I got crackers for the streets too hotter than me. Flamers. I got crackers for the streets too hotter than me. Hottest in the city. Hottest in the city. Hottest in the city. Ain't nobody gon' top. Hottest in the city. Hottest in the city. Hottest in the city. Ain't nobody gon' top. Hottest in the city.
It's been 24 hours since I installed my crankshaft seal. So how about we dive into the engine bay and take a look if there's any leaks. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but the rain just started coming down profusely, so I had to put up that tent, as you can see, so we can get this video done, because I want to get this video out to you guys as soon as possible. But this rain is trying to stop the show, but the show goes on, man. The show goes on. So like I said to you earlier, let me show you guys what the engine bay looks like, because I'm impressed with the results. Alright, so this is the engine bay, of course, and this is the area that we worked on yesterday. And just from looking at it, a lot of oil was being built up around this area on the timing cover, and I'm not seeing anything right now. Like, it's very dry. The timing belt itself is dry. I'm not seeing any oil residue on the belt. The timing cover is dry, because I remember last time when I showed you guys, all I did was wipe the timing cover and my whole finger was completely covered in oil. I think that crankshaft seal did the trick, man. The car is driving normally. There's no squeaks with the belt. Everything is tightened up perfectly fine. So if you ask me, that crankshaft seal did the job. All right, people, so my tent is about to collapse, so I'm gonna make this real short and sweet. If you guys have any questions or concerns about the H22 engine, if your engine is leaking in any type of way, just shoot me a comment down below. I'll give you some insight as to what the leak might be coming from. Most likely, when your crankshaft seals are going bad, it's most likely your PCV valve that's going bad. Your PCV stands for your positive crankcase ventilation. And if your PCV valve is bad, the first seal to go bad is either your front main seal or your rear main seal. So just some insight for you guys if you're having this issue. I'm gonna end the video off right here. Appreciate you guys for watching. Keep wrenching. One love. Stay tuned for the content because I got some more videos for you guys. Peace.